All right, Krista, first question right here on the front on 1. The microphone's coming right over.
Hey guys, Trista Crick, USA Today. I would love to hear from both of you guys whether you actually think momentum is real, and if so, does it carry over from game to game, in your opinion and your experience?
It's definitely a real thing. It's just a matter, can you capitalize on it? Once the next game starts, and lock in and focus on details and kind of see the adjustments the other team is going to make, especially in the playoff series, because that happens. They watch film, try to tinker a little bit, but momentum and just confidence in terms of what we're trying to accomplish every possession, every quarter in order to win the game. It's definitely a real thing.
Mark on the left side.
It is for Steph and Klay, Mark Medina, Bay Area News Group. What do you expect the emotions will be like tomorrow, knowing Kevin's out and final game at Oracle?
I expect us to obviously come out and play as hard as we can. We're not even thinking about the future. We're just thinking about enjoying this last show at Oracle we're about to give our fans. And I expect our fans to be the loudest they've ever been, especially in the name of Kevin and, bringing his type of spirit he would bring to the fight and the competitiveness. I know our fans will do that because we deserve it, but more importantly, Kevin does for what he gave this team, this organization. There wouldn't be banners if it wasn't for his presence, so we expect our crowd to be loud for him.
Mark over here on the left.
For both of you guys, Mark Schwartz, ESPN, I know you're trying to take something from him right now, but during this long series on this stage, what has impressed or blown you away most about Kawhi Leonard?
I mean, he's a gamer. He's shown that he's a Finals MVP back in San Antonio Spurs days for a reason, and he just makes winning plays, and he's obviously expanded his game since then and has shown offensively how dynamic he is. He requires attention at all times, so even really good defense, sometimes he finds a way, but for us it's just playing the long game, understanding he might have great numbers and whatnot. It's just a matter, can we get the stops that matter? Can we win? Can we win the game? Any way that it takes, and he's just a competitor, and so we respect that for sure. And he's shown that again this entire playoff run that they've had.
So Roland, The Guardian. Kevin Durant Instagram that his soul was hurting after last game. Have you guys had a chance to check in with him? How's he doing? How are you guys doing? And how much are you guys going to be playing for him come tomorrow?
I mean, this first 24 hours, there's not much you can say in terms of him going through the process, figuring out how the extent of the injury and what the roadmap's going to look like coming back. But I don't think much needs to be said about the motivation that we have or are going to have tomorrow. Like Klay said, to protect our home court, feed off our crowd's energy, play for K, and try to keep our season alive. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that you can kind of tap into for energy tomorrow. We'll be ready.
Michael in the center.
Michael Grange from Sportsnet. This would be for either of you guys. Coming out of that timeout in Game 5, you each hit huge shots. It's nothing new for either of you in terms of hitting shots in big moments. Did you feel that coming on? Did you think that you guys were about to do something pretty special? And just in the bigger picture, what's it feel like to be stepping into shots like that really matter?
I don't think we anticipated that to happen. We just kind of go out there and play. We're very in tune with each other, being that we've played with each other for years. So when we hit the open man, like Steph doesn't stop moving. That's how he got that curl three. Same with me. Draymond sacrificed his body, set a great screen. So it just comes down to having the chemistry we do with the team and just playing that ball movement type of basketball. And then I'm very on the defensive end, I think, is where we won that game. Just being able, just Draymond and Andre making huge reads to all-world defenders. And then as far as stepping into those shots, we practice those every single day. So, and I know Steph's been doing it for 10 years with this organization, and me 8. So we know what it's like to take those, and we can live with the make or miss. It's just what it comes down to.
Dan, towards the middle.
Guys, also for either of you, Dan Wicke with the Los Angeles Times. Obviously, Kevin won't play the rest of this year, so that means the Death lineup or the Hamptons 5 lineup won't be out there. How important of a tool has that been for you guys since he's gotten here? And what do you think sort of the lasting legacy of that lineup and the way that kind of changed the way teams played? What do you think that'll be?
I don't know much about the second part of that question, but just in terms of when we're healthy and we have all those 5 guys out there, the chemistry is solid because we don't like take over each other's spots on the floor, and we all bring something different to the table. And we work off each other really well. There's a trust factor and just a rhythm to it on both ends of the floor. And I think we all just enjoy the pace that we can play with and the speed that we can show. So, it's just one of those things that when you see those 5 guys out there, something good's about to happen. And really you don't know where it's going to come from, too. That's the best part about it, and we all enjoy each other's successes. So, it's a great lineup, obviously. I don't know the lasting legacy or whatever. Hopefully there's still more of that to come.
Over on the far right.
Josh Peter with USA Today. Steph, there's some video online showing your parents getting heckled pretty bad outside the team hotel in Toronto. In light of what happened with Aisha, the fan getting arrested for the vulgar comments and some of the aggressive fan behavior, what do you make of what's happened?
I think in terms of being in the finals 5 years in a row and being on the stage, it's hard to avoid those interactions with fans that want to kind of impose or make their imprint on the series somehow, some way, especially with social media these days. So I think it's kind of stupid, to be honest, in terms of people camping outside our hotel just to yell expletives at either us or our family members or whatever the case is. But we handle all that stuff with class and try to ignore it the best we can. And if they get something out of it, so be it. But it doesn't affect us at all in terms of what we're trying to do and how we carry ourselves, us as team, as players, and people that represent us and our families as well.
And in the front.
Ann Kelly in San Francisco Chronicle. For both you guys, you're elite athletes, and there's a lot of talk right now about who's to blame for what happened to Kevin, if the organization pressured him, if he felt pressure from his teammates. I'm just wondering if, Klay, you've recently been injured, Steph, you've been injured in the past. What's your feeling about that kind of conversation about the blame game?
I mean, everybody has great 20/20 hindsight, and it's 24 hours in a day, and there's a lot of different takes you can have on a situation like that. In our cases, and as well as Kay, and knowing him as a person and behind the scenes, we all want to play basketball. Like, if we have an opportunity to play or a chance to play, we want to play, and that's just how it is as competitors, and especially at this stage. So I trust our medical staff, and know Bob Myers has our best interest in terms of not just what we can do in this series, but long term and our overall health. So you can see how hard he took it, talking to you guys after the game, and that's really genuine and authentic. So you can waste time talking about the what ifs and this and that. Injuries are tough, and they suck, and they're a part of our game, and they're going to continue to be a part of our game. But everybody, putting their collective, brains together to make the, sound, smart decisions, and you kind of just live with that because that's what's a part of our game.
I agree with Steph.
Scott, and then towards the back.
Scott Ostler, San Francisco Chronicle. For both you guys, the Splash Brothers, is that just a corny nickname, or is there something more to that? And also, had Kevin kind of achieved full status in that brotherhood or not?
I guess he didn't win enough Finals MVPs too. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think he is above and beyond a splash brother with his ability. I don't think me and Steph, we could practice as many jump shots as we want. We still can't rise up and shoot over any man on this earth. So I don't think we need to include him in the Splash Bros to validate his talent and his skill, because it's pretty obvious to the human eye how good of an athlete, great of an athlete he is.
Klay's just stingy. He wants that nickname for ourselves. He's not going to be giving that out to anybody.
Last one towards the back.
Jet Lu from the World Journal. Both of you guys, after Kevin's injury, his mother, mentioned the people who question him don't know him. He has a heart of true warrior. In your mind, what kind of person is KD? Why do so many people question him?
That's just the nature of the game these days. It happens to the greatest athletes to ever play. Every athlete at his level has gone through it, whether it's been Kevin, Muhammad Ali, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, baseball players, Wayne Gretzky. They've all been questioned, especially in this day and age with the media and the 24-hour news cycle. There's going to be talking heads talking about his game and whatnot. That just comes with the territory. But we know who he is. We've won championship with him. I've played in international games with him. I've seen him every day in the gym. You don't need to question someone's heart or desire to play when you see their daily work and their resume. This man's won every accolade there is. So for these people to say that, it's really just irresponsible and stupid, because this man's been a basketball prodigy since he was 15, and his skill level is not attained unless you put the work in.
Thanks, guys.
All right, so there are the Splash Brothers, and giving love to Kevin Durant. The news now official because it comes from him on Instagram. What's good, everybody? I wanted to update you all. I did rupture my Achilles. Surgery today. It was a success. Easy money. Road back starts now. I got my family and loved ones by my side. Truly appreciate the messages and support people send our way. Like I said Monday, I'm hurting deeply, but I am okay. Basketball is my biggest love, and I wanted to be out there that night because that's what I do. I wanted to help my teammates on our quest for the three-peat. It's just the way things go in this game, and I'm proud that I gave it all I had physically, and that I'm proud my brothers got the W. It's going to be a journey, but I'm built for this. I'm a hooper. I know my brothers can get Game 6, and I'll be cheering with Dub Nation while they do it. That from Kevin Durant. So as expected, and again, I mean, look, you never want to infer anything. When Bob Myers looked the way that he did, I think it was clear that we all knew what it was and to what extent it is. And now you hope that patience and your luck and, God willing, everything else that's required will all be there to get him back, not only on the court but as the Kevin Durant we know.
Well, just knowing that my good friend Dominique Wilkins went through this, we know he was a high flyer and all-star. He was able to come back from the injury and get back to his status. So, KD, I know you're a hard worker. I know you're a hooper. I know you're going to do what's best for you to get your legs back right. And more importantly, make sure you don't lose the love of basketball that you've had your whole life, which that's the only thing I'm concerned about right now. Because I know he's going to put in the rehab. I know he's going to put in the work. Just hopefully he doesn't lose love for the game like we know he has.
Yeah, look, people are going to bring up timetables and start doing all sorts of things. First of all, every person is different. Every athlete is different. Every body is different. Every rehab is different. So if somebody came back in 9 months or somebody took 14, it doesn't mean Kevin Durant's going to take 9 or 14.
But all those people, you weren't trying to come back and be the best basketball player in America. That's the biggest difference.
And by the way, that's not what you were going to be paid to do by the teams that, whether you opt in at 31 here or even maybe more likely get a max for 4 and end up playing 3 somewhere else.
Exactly.
They are doing that because they are getting the Kevin Durant. You have to be to an unbelievable level for somebody to say, which everyone is saying, hey, look, you'll have plenty of max offers with a ruptured Achilles. That's how great this dude is. But that's the dude they want back. So that means don't play next year. I don't want to hear you talk about playoffs or coming back. Now, being fair, if he opts in here, he is going to want, and I'm sure his desire will be, because the playoffs take a few months, if you haven't noticed, his desire will be to come back, show that he could play long enough to then say, hi, I'm healthy, and go out and earn what he was to earn here. I think that is probably his goal.
No question about it. At the end of the day, like I said before, I just hope he doesn't lose the love of the game that we've seen his whole life. Long as that stays there through the rehab, we've seen so many guys come back from different injuries, but when you're going through that rehab, sometimes you question yourself, can I get back to being that guy? Can I get back to being the most dominant player on the floor when healthy? That's the part through the rehab I hope he doesn't lose.
And look, don't. I think people underrate human heart and the family element. I mean, I say this all the time, and in this sport, think about a sport like baseball, they get 18 days off during the season. This is the family you have in there, right? Just like we're a family here, anyone else.
Right.
So when he sees the reactions from his teammates, from Bob Myers, from the fans, don't think he's not feeling that love too. So I have seen it. Look, I have no knowledge at all. I mean, at least not about this.
Right.
Shush. But people are saying that, well, discounting the opportunity for him to opt in here at 31, and he'll definitely take. Don't make that mistake.
No.
Because don't think that he doesn't consider that important and that loyalty. When you're in your lowest moment and people give you that much love, there is a value to that where he'd still get 31, could still prove he's healthy in the playoffs or by the end of the year, probably if it took a year timetable, and still go out and then still get the 4 years and everything else he wanted. People have discounted that, like, he'll go to New York and get 164 and play for 3 years. I think that's, I don't want to say it's dumb, but the idea that he wouldn't at this moment in time in his life, this is the lowest moment of his career, at the highest moment, all in a week, right? He was going into free agency. Don't think he's not affected by the love he's been shown by this city, this area, and that team, because I think it'll weigh heavily on his decision.
He's been affected from the time he chose to leave OKC. And Bob Myers and Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and the rest of that organization has had time to show him how much they care about him and how much they want him to be a part of this franchise until he retires. Isaiah and I talked about it before. I don't see no other Steph Curry on any other team. I don't see no other Klay Thompson on any other team. Draymond, the whole little skirmish they had early in the season. I still don't think Kevin Durant wants to leave this situation to go somewhere else.
All right, Noah, did you say skirmish?
Skirmish.
I think it's skirmish.
Skirmish, gamish.
No skirmish. Where's our philosopher, Isaiah? He'll be back soon. We've got more coming up, including talking about Boogie, who boogied down big time in Game 5. Continue our media availability special presented by YouTube TV, and you can see that it was boogie down time. You heard Draymond, among others, talk about already during the course of this afternoon the rush of energy and the push offensively that Boogie gave when he entered the game. Remember, he was down a spot in the rotation. Up in our rotation again at the forefront, Chris Ledlow, who chats with Boogie heading into game number 6.
After Game 5, you emphasized over and over again that this is all bigger than basketball. What about this series has made that true for you?
We've seen almost every type of obstacle so far in this playoff run, and we're just still we're still fighting through, like obviously, and it just shows the character of this team. It shows the fight in this team. It shows the drive. So that's all we can do at this point.
How then do you shift the focus back to basketball with history on the line in this series?
Well, one, that's the main goal, to come out and win a championship. So we've had a lot of distractions. We've had a lot of adversity, a lot of ups and downs. So have to find a way to, kind of zone those things out and remember the task at hand.
You've gone through the rehab and recovery process more than once this season. How are you feeling physically at this point?
I'm fine. I mean, if I was on one leg right now, I would say that I would give you the same answer. But I mean, I'm fine. I'm good enough to play. I'm gonna leave it out there on the floor.
Then what did you see at the start of Game 5 that allowed you to be so effective offensively?
Just came out and tried to be aggressive. My teammates have, continued to preach that to me, to stop being so hesitant with, the way I've been playing. So just try to come out, be aggressive. And, my intention every time I step on the floor is to always try to make the right play. So just continue to do that.
What will be the key then, as we're sitting in Oracle Arena for the last time you're playing here? Anyone's playing here. What will be the key to forcing a Game 7?
Come out, play the right way, play both ends, play off the energy of the crowd. I'm sure it'll be electric. And just leave it on the floor. Leave it all on the floor.
Thanks, DeMarcus. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, so there's Boogie Cousins. Sorry, I just you talk so loud in my ear when you talk. I got to make sure I got adjusted before 3D starts speaking.
3D got that very right voice.
I'm like I can hear you, 3D. I'm over here. They move your chair over. You know, when you sit there and you think about Boogie. In game 2, it was clear he gave everything, more than his body was ready for, and I think people were surprised about the lack of rust, but then I think reality hit in game 3, and we saw a different version, eventually leading to him in game 5 being third in the rotation. Do you worry at all about him having pushed the body again, given everything he got? And because you're talking about time off. I mean,
Right.
look, he didn't have probably enough time.
Yes.
Are you worried a little bit that maybe here again we're going to see that he pushed it a little bit too far, and we're not going to see the same guy in Game 6?
Well, I think the way he played early on, Isaiah, is the reason why Steve Kerr took him out of the starting lineup, because it may have been too much for him. Coming off the bench, it gave him a chance to see how the flow of the game was going, because as soon as he came in, 2 offensive rebounds, perfect pass, so he was able to get into the flow. I thought starting him, he may have wanted that, but deep down inside, he wasn't quite ready for it.
When you say he wasn't quite ready for it, I mean, for the fan out there, they're like, how could he not be ready for it? I mean, take them a little bit through what it feels like emotionally starting a game.
Yes.
Those butterflies that you get. And then when you can come in off the bench, maybe you can look at it a little bit. What's that like?
See, when you're 100% Casey and everything's flowing, your instincts flow naturally. You know where Klay's going to be. You know where Steph's going to be. You know how to set that screen because your body's in the perfect shape. Now you're not moving. You know that last screen set, everyone was giving a hard time about it. The reason was he didn't stay patient enough and let Steph come off that screen. He was too anxious to set the screen and get him wide open, and that's when you make plays down the stretch because mentally and physically you're not locked in together.
Yeah, and I thought what Coach Kerr did in terms of taking him back to the bench, Boogie accepted that, the team accepted that, and they responded to it. Now, they're doing all this in the finals.
Yes.
They're not doing this in the regular
Right,
season,
right.
and that's what's making it so remarkable in terms of their tenacity to hang in.
All right, to use Zeke's line, we're going to send you back out into the ether for a few hours. we'll be back for game time coming up at 8 p.m. Eastern time and throughout the night. News, most importantly, thoughts with KD from all of us through his recovery. Oracle, it's only got one dance left. We'll continue our finals coverage presented by YouTube TV with Game Time later tonight.